morning, my people. Baby girl, you will rock with me. Keep it by my side, you will stuck with me. Girl, you know I feel the time when you're by my side. Oh yeah, boom, 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 boom. Oh yeah, boom, 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 boom. You know, the road can mean to humble you. You see how we come, we even overtake, only to find a trailer turning in the road, and then we have to stop. But how are you today, my people? How is your Wednesday morning? Mugalasi Joshua Mix Farm, Yombia Mark, Wabuye Nelson, Tusime Eddie, Motumba Pade, Antonio Random Things, Hashim Nathan, Viola Namilo. Travel Life Vlog, Jayce Kaja, Luinda Jimmy Dex, Murad K Momo, Insereko Starch. How are you, my people? Namwabari Mukamori. How did you sleep? I hope you slept well. I hope your morning is as good as I wish it to be for you, or as good as you wish it to be for me. I used to have a friend of mine. So the guys that were supervising his masters, I think, you know what it means to do a master's degree for 8 years. And on his WhatsApp status, there used to be chonjagaliza chenkwagaliza. You know how you meet people on the way and they smile with you. Nenga bebale miseza masters yo 8 years ngaba kulemesa. 8 years ngabalemesa masters yo kugenda maso. But of course eventually he did najimala. I think Bwabakati Ajira is on his way to his PhD. But I hope you guys are doing well today. And Tino Amas Chintu Mark, good morning people. How are you? Ozamo Santu, Kato Muhammad. Yes. Agambia Atestachi, Chigege yo brake lights zikola. It's a abasajja babera Chigegenga. Zikola ezeno. Katulinde netegereze. But guys, muli mutya. Mwarabya eri Chigege yabadde drone yakuta omuliro. You look at such a loss, that's a huge loss. Eri drone yakuta omuliro. And I was talking to a few mechanics to see what could have gone wrong with that drone. So there are two things. One could be the wiring, but the chances of that happening in a diesel car for the wiring to cause a fire are very minimal. Then second would be overheating. The chances still of that happening in a taxi are very minimal because the guys that drive chigeges and taxis, they are very experienced. It's very hard. Then we were left with one reason for that fire: the brakes. You guys remember when I told you, hey, brake lights is equal? You guys remember when I told you that the brakes can jam? I used to think that it's only the rear brakes that can jam. Apparently, even the front brakes can jam if the master cylinder is faulty. Yeah, so the front brakes can jam, but the rear brakes are normally what jams. I remember I used to drive a Primo before I bought mine. Mulaba after go mutwaro kati iyo shero yawe judde basimbira ini bonna bagala kunywa mafuta ekyo kyatandisa okunywaza amafuta amangi nga ngenda nenda. But sometimes you could actually save time. Yeah, you could save time, but you find yourself going to the petrol station every morning thinking that but then if you take fuel at once during the maybe once or twice if you travel a lot, yeah, you save a lot of your time. kati babo basimbye line. I remember I used to be in those lines nga mafuta olunda batega ntuusa neva mlingambo why teka mama mafuta ngagawira omundi kumundabira moroka gwakivuga. So I was still telling you about the brakes. I used to drive the Primo, and I remember very well that one time I went to the garage, they put new brakes, and this guy did not quite balance. I want to call it timing, bleeding. In the process of bleeding the brakes, he did not actually time them properly. So the rear brakes were jamming. So I reached Tezi, and the car is really heavy for me. And I realized that since they have just touched the brakes must be the problem. So I stopped somewhere at a garage there, and I tell the guys to find a way of fixing them. And they found the drums were really hot, like you could not even touch them. So they had to get like a 10 liter of water and pour on the drum discs and on the drums to cool them down. Then they got them out, and they were timing a brake says. And just like that, the car got lighter again. And you know, when the brakes are jamming, still you use a lot of fuel because it's like you're pulling a very heavy load. Yeah. So the drone that caught fire, it might have been a case of badly timed brakes. Yeah, it most definitely is a case of poorly done brake work. Yeah. So the guys that saw the drone that caught fire, that might have been the case. I could have thought it was overheating, but Orabanze Sivuga Moroka like 12 hours a day, but I Moroka so it hit on me to the extent. Imagine a person like that drone guy that drives from morning to evening. It's very hard for a car to overheat without him knowing. And mark you, the drone was new, so the chances are there that it actually had the temperature gauge. They are not like these small cars of ours now. These small cars don't have a temperature gauge, so by the time it shows, but even then it cannot overheat to the point. So it was definitely brake issues. And then emoroka dizere yo chizibu wiring go chizibu kwasa moroka muliro. The cars that I've seen that can catch fire because of wiring are normally the Mercedes Benzes and Volkswagens. Nti emoroka ezo, their fuel lines are very well done. But the thing that normally the wiring guys of Mercedes Benz and Volkswagen, at least the ones I've experienced, they are not very neat with their work. They as long as it starts for them, you take something to be fixed by them. For them, as long as it works, you go. They are not neat. But I've seen some very neat mechanics. At least the guys that do wiring for me now. And if they are not neat, now I know how to do it myself. I know what to do to be a little bit neater than that. So, but how are you today? How do you keep hope? How do you keep being hopeful, guys? Why I'm talking about that? Yesterday, I worked with someone at office, and she had an interface with someone at the place where we rent. We are recently we have been doing modifications at our office, and the modifications, according to people that don't know what it takes to kind of like build a sustainable, I would want to call it a sustainable business, one that keeps progress in the eyes of your customers. Yeah, something that can you grow slowly, but you keep growing. What they would call really ambitious. Yeah, so she meets a cleaner, and from what came from the cleaner's mouth, I know it wasn't the cleaner that was talking. So at the place where we are renting, and Rademundabo indicator, because banabana bagenda wali ku church wali church wali church. I think they're going for a morning mass. So for I know it wasn't his. We rent. A lot of people actually have offices there that are in the performing arts. However, the one thing that I've seen in the performing arts have one thing in common. The directors are jamu kugenda kola bibye. They normally don't try to create a steady flow they don't want to create a business that will create a steady flow for time to come. They don't really think that it could actually be something that can create a steady flow for anyone in times to come. So but director bajjamu kaabwe basobole okuvaawo bagende, and I think it's the common thing. So I find that every time they see someone that is trying to create, they call that overly ambitious and being too hopeful. So in the words of the cleaner, that's what the cleaner was telling this person. Ebintu byemukola ebyo nga mulina essuubi lingi, nga mulina essuubi lingi. Like for the guys that don't understand Uganda, nga you guys are doing things, ambitious things. It seems you guys too have too much hope. I used to think I don't have a hope. I used to think like I'm not ambitious enough. Okay, I'm ambitious, that I know, but I used to think I'm not like one of those top ambitious guys, eh? And then but the kind of hope, I used to think I'm a pessimistic person, and the statement coming from someone that listens to other people's conversations, so I know that a number of people when they are taking their tea, conversations are ways. So I know that a number of people be there saying, guy nesubi lingi mu kintu kino. You guys, how do you keep hope coming, and how do you know someone that has a lot of hope? Yeah, so especially the guys that have been probably through that have been in businesses where it's kind of tough. And from my understanding in Uganda here, every business is tough. Whatever Dr. Jonathan told us here, that even in medicine, even doctors can be broke. Yeah, even doctors can, which means even doctors can lose hope and give up. You get? So again, how do you keep hope? How do you maintain your hope? How do you keep being hope even when things look a little bit bleak? How do you make sure that you have a hope? Yeah, Kali. Good morning, JK Paul Sema, VIP J Sekaja, Nsedeko Starch, Nathan 256, Chairman Zach, yes. Panang, the way I have manners on the road. Oh, I used to not be like these guys. I used to be one of those guys that abavuga dumula. The conductor was alerted. Katate smoke. If the smoke came from one omwilo gwasinze kwata mabega. If the smoke came in, chitegeza the smoke started coming ngomwilo gukutte. Ngomwilo gukutte. And that's also, there's also Costa which called yesterday. And guys, for the guys that drive cars in Kampala, please buy fire extinguishers. Buy fire extinguishers and put them in your car. Buy fire extinguishers. You buy fire extinguisher and put it in your car. Buy emergency triangles, put them in your car. Fire extinguisher kasobora okutasa at a time when you don't expect to use it. Starch abebaza abamuwadde customer, ani yamuwadde customer? David Jack to Musime, good morning. Nengo Bulanyo. Eddie Aniku, good morning. So anyway, guys, how do you keep hope? I'm going to read those your messages when I get a place to kind of stop. The road seems to be a little bit empty. I don't know why. It doesn't seem to be too full. How do you keep hope coming? How do you maintain the hope? How do you keep having a subi? Osigazote subi. I find that a chigambo subi is too strong. A subi is big. I don't want to think of myself as one of the people that keep a subi. Me, the moment I lose hope in something, I leave it. A subi can study guamuchintu. I don't think I have a subi. Me, I just know that things work out when you do the right thing. And the moment any kind of business, things don't work out, I leave that business. And that's why normally I say Uganda bwinegana nze bwenjifuluma sijidda kubanga mmanyi ebeganye bwendi tukane ngamba ati kakati bino ngasse kino kiganye ngasse kiri kiganye ngasse kiri kiganye ngenze bwenfuluma sidda. And I think that's why it comes from far. It's not something that I can just wake up in the morning and say, you know what, let me do this. I believe that if I ever have to think that, you know what, Arthur, kati kiganye biganye bwe nafuluma nti nja kuba nfulumye nga sigenda kukomawo okitegeera. That's something I've just made out for myself. But for the guys that, especially the guys that are in Uganda, of course namwe abali ewe naddala bali mu nsi z'Abawarabu, how do you keep hope? How do you keep being hopeful? Let me read some of these comments here. Original listeners remember when Arthur wanted me to own a Benz, but the way he was cured. Now listen to him talking down on Benzes. I don't talk down on Benzes, but it's a fact. Let me tell you, in the lockdown na ina Benz C200 yakwata omuliro. Echaji kwasa omuliro yali wiring. Ate sengamba desivuganga ku Benz. Wali gambio bakale, but I've driven a Benz like more than once. And the time that the Benz jenaina yakwatiramu omuliro, yeah, Benz ewe yakwata omuliro, it was a wiring thing. It was a wiring thing, and it was a wiring thing. It was a bulb in the rear. Bali bachusa wiring nga boteka mu what do you call them? The parking lights were not working, and what happened is that someone switched a bulb. When that person switched a bulb, I drove and went home. And as the car I was pulling into the parking lot, purely wiring. David Jack, I'm not talking down. No, by the way, David, it's experience. That Benz actually, what happened is when it caught fire, that the next morning we drove it, took it to Kasim. So what Kasim did, because so they sprayed it, and we sold it as it was. We gave Kasim his money, we gave Kasim his money, and everybody moved on with their lives. So David Jack, Golf, I had a Golf. I drove both a Golf 4, I drove a Golf Polo. All those cars, the wiring guys are not smart. Yes, I've owned a Benz. Not even I still want to own a Benz, but I think it's not worth it. You know, it's like how you want something, but you know it's not good for you, and you have to control yourself. The Benz is not good for me. So David Jack, I don't talk down on any Benz. I've been to be single, you get a bit better for experience. That's why I've told you it's very hard for you to find that. It's very hard to find a diesel car catching fire because of wiring. Yeah. Nespark, there's no petrol in there. Let me just read these comments then to a younger day. Chris Da Vinci, good morning. Godfrey Tambara, hi. David Jack, the way Bat Valley became a hub of the arts industry still amazes me. I remember when the place only had school and a bush and bushes. Yeah, by the way. And the taxi also, there is a chance of not well-contained fire hazard within the passenger luggage. But Arthur, watch the director, Muli Bakambonyo during production process. Edwin Mugerwa, I find that I used to be a director of Mukambwe, but I find that a director, because whenever a director is not in control, whenever he loses control of his own creative process, whenever a director doesn't know what to do, I've been there. I've been a very tough director, and now I'm no longer a tough one. Do you know why? I have control over my creative process. I work with a team that understands my working process, and I work with a team that that knows what I want. But I also find that the directors, never directs about theater and film. The director is only tough if he has not understood his audience. I find that the biggest freedom a director can get is understanding what his audience wants. Once you understand what your audience wants, you make sure the other creative people that are working with you understand what the audience wants. It's very easy for you to pull off a production without getting tough. I used to be tough. I used to slap people, and then I understood my audiences, and then I understood the kind of people I was working with and what motivates them. So once a director understands what motivates his team, it's just and then I remember when we were around 2015, we used to have rehearsals from like rehearsal up to like midnight, and then now we no longer do rehearsals up to midnight. We can start rehearsals at 2 p.m. and we are off at 5 p.m. But you know why that happens? Because as a director, I know what I need to achieve, and I know that I can achieve it in the time that I've set up. And my audiences appreciate the kind of work we do now better than they appreciated back then when we were rehearsing up to midnight and all that. So I find that it's experience. But director then I was inexperienced. Me, I happened to know that I was inexperienced. So Edwin, but the wokoranga director nga mukambwe taseka gwemanya bimusobedde okitegeera. Daniel Odwori, Bridge Kakai, Nathan, Ntongo Helen, David Jack Tumusime. You have bafande bali bafuniddeyo mu motoka katabona afande noli afande okitegeera bali ku piki. Accident ya pitch. Guys, how do you keep hope coming? How do you keep hope going? Yeah, I found like people lose hope, and they even lose hope for other people. Kati ya losing a hope, natandika okuloza n'abalala losing a hope. And being a person that has gone through marketing school countless times, and a person that still went to the art school, where I was also outstanding. Marketing, I may not have been as outstanding as I was in the art school. I happen to understand that there is a renaissance for everything. The renaissance is like the rebirth. Even in England, even in the US, they had that period when things were not working out in their performing arts industry and the film industry, and then they had a renaissance. And that I believe that I'm supposed to be one of those people that works on making sure that the renaissance happens in Uganda, So David Jack Agamba, you have drive politely now because you're a role model on camera. You are reporting yourself with recordings. David Jack, stop blackmailing me. Stop blackmailing me. I've always been driving well, but I don't drive like this for the camera. I drive like this even when I'm out of the camera, because the trouble that comes from you driving anyhow is not worth it. Okay, the trouble that comes from you being as fast as you wish to be is not proper. Orange. Joseph Balikudebe, good morning. Badru Jingo, good morning. Hope starts from being alive and healthy, then looking at other people and listening to their stories. I think even the exposure that For the Love of Cars has given me has also given me hope. Good morning, Jovan Mugume. I saw something with Ugandan buses. They limit emergency door, exit doors. Man, it's a very bad thing. If it's an emergency door, let it be an emergency door. Good morning, Chisenyi. Okay, man. Bruno Bakahika. Oh, your Bruno Bakahika, Yomukuba, the people I directed when I was at campus in the production where I won Best Director. Bruno did not have acting experience. He was in his first year. I was in my third year. Bruno won Best Actor. Twakoro muzanyi baguyita Marriage ogwa Nikolai Gogol, the Russian playwright. And Bruno was fresh. I wasn't tough in that production, Bruno, was I? I wasn't really tough. I think I was working with a team that I knew could pull it off. It was only Bruno that wasn't experienced, but I think he knew, I think he was very well motivated. Do you have a drone that drives from Kampala to Fort Portal written on Okeman at the back? No, I don't. I don't. I think there's someone that calls themselves Okeman and they own a drone. If your targets and goals are realistic, then being hopeful is important, because then you'll keep working towards getting the success you desire and more. Yes, thank you, Eddie. Thank you. Omulabi ono ata yomba n'okuyomba yakubye ekitaala. Ne musajja batakisi oba baabaki. Obalaba. Twetagayo ekipapula ky'okkuba ekitaala nga kya $1.5 million. Wa traffic buli naye abalabye bayitawo. Kata ayinza obalekabo ne bagenda n'ayimiriza gwavuga obulungi. Bakubye ebitaala nga wa traffic alaba. Twetagayo actually twetagayo ebipapula category nga yaba taxi ndowooza. I saw the report. I think it's the report of last month of accidents. Majority, I think we got like 81 people died in motor accidents. 51 were border passengers. Were on border. I think about 20 something were pedestrians. Only one person was in a car. So guys, as you use borders, I think you should also look at the statistics. Majority of people that die in motor accidents actually die when they are using borders. Guys, for the guys that are in Kampala, avoid borders as much as possible. And for the guys that take their kids to school using borders, if you can try to avoid it, artistically you can start it. I'm going to be doing a review on traffic reports like every middle of the month, like this. I'm going to get one of these days mbakolere summary ya traffic report on accidents. Mutegeere watching the border and zitya. When I have to go to town from my office, I actually I walk majority of the time, because kati nkuba makafananyi mfune border accident makati mu kibuga nga nabadde nsobola okutambula less than 2 kilometers nawoza ntya okitegeera. So I drive literally everywhere, and if I can't drive there, I walk. So whenever you can avoid borders, please avoid them. 51 of the 80 something people that died were on borders, and the other majority, the second biggest number of people that died of accidents were walking. So walking on highways, bypass, you guys be careful. So guys, how do you keep hope coming? So your question is actually what makes you stick in business or decide to give it up? Not really stick, because even the people that have lost hope in our performing arts industry are still there. Tebavamu. It's just that they don't give it their all. David Jack, like, you know how someone stays in borders, ngatafuna musente naye ngatavamu because achayagala okubera naye ngatayina musubi. You get how do you keep hope going? Remind yourself that it isn't forever. Thank you, Paul Sema. I think it's easier to stick in a business when it starts out as a vocation. You feel like it is your calling, then you won't easily give up. Thank you, David. I'm in the performing arts because it's my calling. I feel it's what I was meant to do. I also feel like the performing arts have been good to me, really good to me, that I have to make it worth it for someone else. A number of other people have to want to be here. They have to get enough rewards to want to stick here. And I feel like, yeah, it's my calling. When something is your calling, actually, it's very easy to stick to it. Yeah. That's very dangerous. Yatintinga almost like 60% of the windscreen. You have to be seeing different angles. Akuba shortcut. Nafeka tukupe shortcut. Ate yo benzi lisumi kubawo in that area wali garage za benzi ngasatu. Katulaye bwe nekyama mu garage ngena kubamba gamba kati benzi eyo. Ba garage zawo zo nanzi manyi. like a person that drove a Benz and a Volkswagen. I know German garages this side of Chikoni, so I will tell you whether it's dead or not. How do you maintain hope, guys? Within, it doesn't matter where, but in whatever you do, in the performing arts, we have a lot of hopeless people, and when atera futi balina gikola na kumacha love ya lugulunga mumaze okukola just here in Africa. I envy the whites. Right now there are people going to the beach. Fene bakusanga ku beach esawa zilwayi badde ne bakugeya mto yagala kola ne boba wakola. It's not a very good thing. City Square target nga ne round relaxing amuva kafa abaite tulina byakola leka tosola tula police yeriwo. Police yeri relaxing irawo. Very bad. So how do you maintain hope, guys? How do you maintain hope? David Jack Agambe, if you start out as a vocation, if you feel like it's your calling, benzi ngadukanye labikanamu ngabadde akubye mukubi shortcut zengera bambagamba talina bwatulimba eno garage zeno zunanzi manyi. David Jack kati agamba Arthur is talking down on Benz. I'm not. Yenze sijivuli iyo sebo namu egenze namu sinfu yeri tekyame mu garage. The garages zikyamira wano bakyamira wano bikamera wano wali bigaraji bya Germany once emoroka namu Benz namu. David Jack, you must be happy. That Benz is okay. So guys, how do you keep hope? How do you maintain hope? Esubi chechi kuzamu esubi nogamba kansigale nga nkola starch gwe abasajja gwe badde bakijjanya. What keeps hope? What helps you maintain your hope? How do you maintain your hope? Mugwe nogamba kansigale lero kanzukuke ngende ekole. And you know guys, I found that it's very easy to lose hope in life. Like, have you guys seen have you been to a burial? And has something ever come to you and said, has something ever occurred to you? No gamba neka akati byonna byonna tukola bya bwerere. Mujukira ka million yagambe no duniye tumalira mu bwerere. Gota muno mutira bwerere. You remember that song? Yeah? Kati, what keeps hope going even in life? Because even in life, what will keep you going? How do you maintain your hope? Esubi likusigala muli teno lero nga terijja. What is happening? Esubi olisigaza otya amidst all the challenges, amidst all the deaths that are going on, amidst knowing that, you know what, I'm doing all this work, but you know what, I can wake up one day and I've lost it all. For the guys that take risks like me, I take risks, a lot of risks. Yeah, I take a lot of risks. For the love of cars, I take a lot of risks. But what keeps things going? What keeps you going? What? Nebenze ndana yiyo. Kate kali kana kweye yiseyo. Like I found, but of course this topic is very dear to me. I've seen people that are having many kids, that their hope is in their kids. You guys have heard that statement before. Very primitive way of thinking. How do you be there and going to there are so many people like that. Bakuru bawe bajja baweerera. Kati ngesubi limuli mu baana be. You guys, what keeps your hope going? Banange part 1 year Prius yawedde naye internet etu betraying internet ekyaganyo ja uploading. I've uploaded it for more than 24 hours eganyo. Hey guys, let me share. Munange gulo I ate something I'm allergic to. And coffee say waliyo omuntu ngagenda agula bo cookie. ngabuleta nga ndya bukuki, kumbe bukuki bulimu cinnamon. I'm allergic to cinnamon and cinnamon gives me hiccups. Banange nga nfuna hiccups nga ngenda nga nfuna eddagala lya erinyambako mbu ku hiccups nga bampa, they gave me one, there is a katabu they gave me ne baŋŋamba ako katabu okalaba kamire half ng'otuuse ewaka. Banange I'm going to learn to be careful. Bwe natuuse ewaka saamenyeemu nakamize fuulu ne ndyoka nzijukira nti they told me to take half of this thing. There is a reason why they told me to take half. Baganda bange, I slept. I struggled with sleep at a time I did not want to sleep. I would try to get up and I go back down. Akakene nakankozeeko emikolo. Ate nno nga mulowooza hiccup zigenda. Cookie ndalidde nnyingi. I ate like 5 cookies. So I used to not believe that Africans have allergies. Then I have a kasista kange nga one time nga kagamba banange perfume ow'amaanyi I'm allergic. Ate weekoza naawe Africa tetulina allergy. Munange namala kuzuula nti I have allergies of cinnamon. Naye ndyoka nzikiriza nti Abafirika naffe tuli bantu tulina allergy. I used to think Africa tulinga machine tetuvaawo. David Jack, I think it's easy to stick. Okay, Rajimaze. Elvis Patel, hi. Members, don't forget to like Arthur's live. We are 10 likes. Guys, your guys are 58. Like the broadcast. Ronald M. Cassandra VIP, good morning. So you mean a Benz is the iPhone of phone types? Better buy an Android. It's better to buy Android, by the way. And iPhone ojigula ate tusobola kusharinga bintu n'abantu kwegamba. But Benz is a good car. It's a good car, but buy it as a third car. Nabagamba Benz should be car number 3. Musisi Gerald, how are you? I always tell myself it's okay to fail. Maybe I need to look into myself where I go wrong, then I start again. Thank you. Failure is okay. I was talking to someone at office. I think it was in a meeting. We were in a concept development process. And then we had developed a concept up to the script development stage. And then we realized the concept could not work. So the concept we were developing was about a Casanova. Yeah? And then we realized that, you know what, there is no way we are going to develop this concept. The way we are supposed to predict this thing, the show, for it to make sense, there is no way it will pass. Never to just shoot is again took a time way to lucky. And then we had to drop the entire thing. And then someone was saying, let us modify it like this. He brought different angles in which we could modify the show. And I told this person, you know what? And I told this person, man, it's okay to fail. It's very okay to fail. It's very okay to let things go. And some people don't know that it's okay to let things go. As a person that has let things go so many times, I know that it's okay. I find that it's better to fail than to not fail. It's the people that have failed so many times that know what to do to avoid more failure. Otherwise, if you have never failed, then you don't know what to do to avoid the failure. And you used to slap people, and a grown person just accepts. David Jack. Sometimes you slap people when it's warranted. It used to be the practice. Nothing about slapping. And I think one of the reasons why directors end up doing that is because it has been done to them, David Jack. It's not like they really want to do it, but it has been normalized. It has been normalized to the extent that it became normal. But then I stopped, David Jack. But you are right, a director who knows what to do, knows how to mold and shape their crew in the direction they want. But that comes with experience, David. It comes with experience. The kind of experience I have right now, I can work with an amateur, a very cold actor. I know what to do with them. If I'm not going to give them time, I know who can give them time to make them what I want. So you assign someone else to work with that person to get what you want out of them. So that's the method I use. If I see that I'm working with someone who is fairly stupid, I get someone that can handle that kind of stupidity to get them to a level, to the kind of stupidity that I can handle. And that almost always works. There are people that are patient with the kind of and guys, stupidity is not an abuse. No, by meaning stupidity, I'm trying to say ignorance. With the kind of ignorance in what I want you to do. There are people that are very patient with that kind of ignorance. So you just assign someone else to work with that person as a director. And those are things that we teach in our directing course at Platos Institute of Arts and Marketing. Ida omuntu asome directing ewaffe tabeera nga asome directing e Makerere. Kati nze ate ebintu byenasome e Makerere directing we Makerere gwe bansomesa yabulamu. Okitegeera kate bwe najja nenfuna experience ogenda okwesanga nga ate ebintu bye tusomesa ate class above the ordinary. You guys can visit Platos to see some of the things that we teach. The website is platosinstitute.com. Platos as in Platos, institute like in institute. Or you can just Google Platos Institute of Arts and Marketing. Never googling is a Platos Institute. Tujja kujja bajja kulaga ne direction. Bakulage website, bakulage Google My Business page yaffe kwegamba byonna steady. And right now this is the time where the performing arts actually have like the biggest potential. Okitegeera biromba isize walala mukirabye. By the way, no traffic police have been knocked down this year so far. I think unlike in previous years, it's the primitive people that knock down traffic officers. You have to understand that traffic officers also have their share of suffering before they actually get on the road. So they want to mistreat you when they get a chance. You just have to find a way of dealing with them. And you can avoid getting into trouble with traffic police. Better namafuta agawera. Don't try to skip jam. Keep within time. Ojja kwesanga you don't get in trouble with traffic police. Era bwayagala okukuba ekipapula tokigaana. Ani amanyi we tuli. Andrew 256, I don't. You rent at 640 for 10 years? I don't know. Where exactly? Tell me the exact place and I'll read about it. Guys, how do you maintain hope? Commenting ngenda zisoma bagayi bange. Ngenda zisoma. Ngenda zisoma nga I've packed. How do you maintain hope? How do you maintain hope? How do you make sure that you still have hope even when there are challenges, even when you're surrounded by hopeless people? When you're surrounded with the hopeless people, yeah, how do you maintain hope? And you know, Kati industry of performing arts, it's not only there are so many people that are, even the people that are not practicing, have lost hope in the industry. Then ate nolyoka ojja mubatabikola abaabiremu ne babivaamu ate abo hope yabagwamu nnyo. And then when you end up seeing like that there are people that seem to have been making it and all of a sudden they end up going for Cheyo. For example, Patrico Mujuka yagenda ku Cheyo. Like, how does Patrico Mujuka go for Cheyo? It doesn't even make sense. Do you know from what I know about Patrico, and I'm not saying I know him totally, but from what I know, Patrico is one person that had all his weekends booked. Nga kulika embaga weekend zonna nga ayinako embaga, ku Saturday nga ayinako embaga, ku Sunday nga abaako n'emikolo emirala. Ate nga Patrico is one person yayita kolera million emu, ng'akolera million embaga agikolera million 2 kwambuka waggulu. Okitegeera, something must have hit him to lose hope in the country that he loves so much, in a country where he had a very strong brand. And then there are other people that went for Cheyo n'otya n'okutya. Simanyi ne Catherine Kusasira agenda ku Cheyo. Okitegeera, there's so much and that's going to be my research for both masters and PhD. That's going to be my research. Yeah, I want to delve deeper into the performing arts. Nyongere okutegeera ebintu okusinga ku balala. Why do people in the performing arts that seem to be making it all of a sudden bagenda kucheyo? Okitegeera, even media guys seem to be making it in media mawulire. Ogenda okusanga guy yagenda kucheyo ali Canada. Ate Canada tagenze agenze kola mirimu gy'amaanyi ng'ayoza toy alabirira abakadde ebintu. Why would someone leave something that seems to be nalaba Selector Williams? You guys remember Selector Williams? Naye mbu yagenda kucheyo. Okitegeera, how does that work out? How does that even? So how do you keep hoping in during a time or during in an industry where there are more hopeless people than hopeful? How? You have to open the entire gate. Wano naisangawo Mark Tumusota mukageti kamundu lyo munatya ate bamanyi mmoloka banna obaziyigira aina kabenzi kano mukategede ka E320 geti bagulawo geti emu agenzi nagula eyokubiri obuntu obutamanja mmotoka naisangawo Mark Tumusota because Mark Tumusota is the same height same length as this E320 nigga dai no kugulawo aguddewo the entire gate. Muntu akatonda akuyambanga n'omanyi mmotoka like me nawe the way I know how to drive nesomye nnyo kati ekyo kantirikira nenga yonji manyi omanyi waliwo olugero lulimu things fall apart the olugero lwange ndwera lidde if no one would praise him he would praise the lizard that fell from the high Iroko tree said that he will praise himself if no one else would. So yes, no one is praising me that I know how to drive, so I will praise myself. Kale, katika tusome comment tulabe how do you guys maintain hope. And for the guys that the new guys on the channel that are asking themselves why we keep talking about things that are not purely car, is because it's easier for someone to actually enjoy driving their car if their other life is peaceful, if their business life is peaceful. That's why you keep doing these topics that are not really related to cars. It's still related to cars. David Jack, a nice thing has crossed in front of you at the traffic lights. Uganda is gifted. Oh, but there is something wrong with us Ugandans and rules. I always find pedestrians walking in the road even when the pavements are in good condition. You just wonder what they are doing in the road. I find that it has to do with the authority. If border guys can drive on pavements and nothing is done about them, then sometimes the pedestrians actually go down on the road because the borders are on the pavements. So then they get used to walking in the road. It's not really about if there is no one to make sure that the borders respect the laws. Now we get bagenda bivam. Promotion logistics. Hi, how are you? Thank you. Have you ever heard of Morning Glory, Arthur? Is it for people without children? No, it's for people even with children. You need to have many rooms in your house. If you live in a double room, I take a double room. The kids' bed is there, your bed is here. So the only time you can do Morning Glory is if the kids go to the village, which brought about the thing of taking kids to the village. During holiday when the kids are in the village, the parents can play. But now kakati people like me, you have your bedroom, so Morning Glory can happen. Lucky Mose Chechiriwo. I saw the Benz was at a speed. These days, many Benz drivers seem to like speed, unlike in the past when they were diplomatic drivers. They were not diplomatic drivers. The Benzes had press. Me, I've driven a Benz before. So the man came at that time when I've got a Benz. Someone wanted to sell me a Benz. We were driving it with Kasim a road test, and Kasim realized the gearbox was actually faulty. Most of those guys in the past, so it was not like they're diplomatic. Life is boring if you don't work or are redundant. Hope also comes from motivations. As long as you have a strong source of motivation, hope is always there. I think for me, one of the things that motivates me is the people that work with me. I find that the people that work with me, they will continue working with me as long as I show them that we have a direction where we are going, and as long as they know that we are progressing, they will keep working. And I find that the moment no one actually works because I work, it will be the day that I've lost hope. It will be the day that I give up. It probably the day I leave the country in Sarewungende. Because now I find that in Uganda, if I leave the arts katingenda Korachi, if I live doing what I do, I love what I do. But if I cannot do it because I've lost hope, then what? Nothing else seems to be making sense. Bambi Arthur is a traumatized Ugandan. When he doesn't find Jam, he's disturbed. Munangi Jam ali nomo, ali very nomo zentide no kutya. Chiraika abantu muruka bazide say you. Firstborn, good morning. Many times think of it, even though siri ku barriers. But whenever I think of Micah and gardens, I wake up and go hustle. Me, I think one of the things that keeps me going is my kids. I want them to go to some of the best schools. I want them to have the toys they need to have a childhood, the toys I never had. I want them to have fun as kids, but I also want to have a good old age, childhood, adulthood, oldhood. Makes sense. I also want to have a good old age. So one of the things that I do to make sure that I'm going to have a good old age is by contributing positively in other people's lives, because those are the people that will want to come and kuba fena tujaba tukaddi kadi n'obwala bwe tukola nabo gatulaba butujja babukaddi nabo butambula bukutamye nga bujja okutukyalirako ebiseera byenja kuba nzi dokita nga nyina zi PhD obanga 2 nga bajja okulaba dokita gyali nabadde ali mu kusoma bitabo bye nga bampita dokita olina omugenyi ali mu ddiro ly'abagenyi eddiro ly'abagenyi lijja bali ebweru mu gardens. Dokita bakuyita ojjolayo ku mugenyi nga nange nzijja nze nja kuba sikutamyemu because I exercise. Kati abate exercising nga mugenda kukutabamu. Believing that tomorrow will be a better day. Definitely tomorrow will be a better day. No, you are wrong. Some people say they never have hope in their children, so that some people say they have hope in their children so that they motivate themselves to work harder to provide the best for them. Children are like an investment for the future. How are children an investment for the future, David Jack? Investments give returns. What returns are you getting from your children if you you see allergy, just intolerance. Allergy, vigilance, allergy. Sina allergy chokamba. I'm intolerant. Munange abasawo bonna binagenda ko bagiyita allergy. Who am I to say intolerance? Whenever I think of what I have gone, yet I'm still standing, it gives me hope to keep going. What you have gone through, Joseph, yeah, it's true. But the medicine for hiccups is taking water. Arthur, did you try? David, katika mbanyumize ebintu bya hiccups zino. Around 2014, I used to enjoy mudarasini mumumanyi ye cinnamon. Bana mudarasini awomera ku chai. For the guys that have taken mudarasini, you know. Mudarasini awomera ku chai. So I used to take cinnamon tea. Nganywa cinnamon tea in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. Hiccups ngazinkuba. Ngangena mundu ne bampa obukerenda, nenywa amazzi, nenteka akapapula wano. You know those things, you put a paper here and hiccups go. Then they used to give me things. Musimanya, where is the paper bag? The paper bag. Those things. Then they used to tell me, paper bag doesn't work, get a Kavera. I got the Kavera. Then they said, breathe in 12 times, breathe in hard and keep the air in. Count up to 10. I would count. All those things did not work. There is a time I took 5 liters of water a day. After taking the 5 liters, I go take my cinnamon tea. Then I went to various hospitals, and no doctor knew what was wrong with me. But they kept giving me medicine that will relax the lungs, which is what they gave me yesterday. Still, it did not actually work. I think it just went away. So today I'm going to do intermittent fasting. I'm going to fast up to like 4. I'm not going to eat anything. I'll just take water. So eventually I go to the internet and I read what causes hiccups. And after a very long search, I fell on this article that said that you have things like those. What you do is first stop eating some of the things that you're eating right now to see something might be causing it. So, of course, one of the things that I was taking a lot was the cinnamon. So I stopped taking cinnamon tea. The hiccups went away. They went away totally. So I took the tea again because it was nice. But hiccups came back. So I stopped. So one time then a friend of mine visited me. He brought bread. It had cinnamon. I ate bread. Hiccups came back. Then another time I went somewhere. I bought the cinnamon rolls. Hiccups came back. That's how I knew that, you know what, I think cinnamon is what brings the hiccups. And then for a very long time I did not experience hiccups until sometime I ate over what? Cinnamon. That was last year. The hiccups were really bad. Then yesterday I ate cookies. Hiccups came. And sometimes I think I just relax and I forget. So it's David Jack, it's not the water. And then sometimes they say that even drinking too much water also brings hiccups. So I know the thing that brings hiccups. So I'm no longer accepting baked gifts. I want only money. Vigilax, Adam, you text me to installing. It's okay to fail indeed, because that's the only way to learn. We are alive, Ndugu. Or I had the slap thing, and I also wondered, even during my time at Chibuli SS, I didn't let any teacher beat me. I couldn't let it happen. Anti kakati JK, ekintu kyokuse wali abantu bakyakuba. And let me tell you what JK, but director bakuba n'emiggo, nze nno nali nsirapingamu. Let me tell you a story about my production manager. My production manager is a twin. There is Waswa, there is Kato, so we work with the Kato. And when I had just started working with him, that is the time when, before he became a production manager, he was just an actor. But at that time, I hadn't yet innovated the things that I have innovated now, because now we use a lot of technology. And at that time, we used to have a lot of stagecraft that we used to use, curtains, backdrops, and all that. And I had about 30 people working with me on the stage. And after every scene, we would change the psych. And so I was with this Kato on stage. We were running. Everyone was running to change the curtain and all. And then I find the Kato backstage with a woman. I slapped Kato. Here. And immediately after slapping him, I went to the stage and I found Kato there carrying things. And then I looked back. I've just slapped this guy. How is he this way carrying things? And then I looked back. There was Kato. That's when I realized there was Waswa also. They looked alike. And then I went and told the Kato, I slapped Babi, so you are Kato. Yeah, but we have evolved since then. And I also find that right now I work with actors that are serious. You'll be amazed, JK, the kind of actors directors are exposed to. First of all, the kind of actors I work with are educated actors. I don't work with an actor that doesn't know how to speak or read English. I don't. Then I don't work with actors that have low self-esteem. So of course the breed of actors that I work with now is something else. And then back in the day, we used to work with actors. We have worked with young actors now, and they're annoying. Omanyi abana be Uganda, most of the kids that end up actually doing the performing arts now with me, are somehow the rich kids. They are the rich kids. Director. Now for us we get the rich kids. Now the rich kids have been pampered. Working hard. They don't know the dedication that goes into acting. Like there is a time now, like this mark of mine, it would be very hard for someone to believe that it happened on stage. And then there is a time last season when we are going to perform, and then someone had actually cut off their hair, all of it. And then we had this new actress say, my God, he cut off his hair. We have had chicks that did not change their hairstyle because that's the particular hairstyle we wanted. There's a time we had to reshoot the cafe because of technical things. And one time you guys will get to see the original cafe. We'll probably upload it on YouTube, the original cafe. It's hilarious. And girls, the ladies had already changed their hair, and then we sent them pictures. We want you to look exactly like this. So they had to go back to the people that made their hair to make it exactly the way we wanted it. But of course, the kind of actors that I work with right now are a different breed. Why is Kampala empty? Nange simanyi lakimoze. Patrico going for Che really pained me, yet I don't know him personally. Maybe because his talent was taken out of Uganda. What do you mean taken out of Uganda, Wanangi? His talent was appreciated. My hope has been in the Lord. I normalize listening to gospel plus worship songs. Era ndi kucheyo, I got a job here in UAE. Ngabampa 6.5 na ye nga sinza asinga. Sirina bitabo bingi, it's been good. Amina Nathan. May I find that actually gospel music kind of makes me lose hope. Every time I listen to gospel music, I start thinking about heaven. And then I say, I don't listen to gospel music. I don't even listen to preachers. These preachers make you think that here on earth. So me, gospel nedda. By the way, how is Kusasila? Last I heard she was sick. Hello, I'm Kenyan, and talking of police harassment, damn, we got harassers multiple times. I remember the one that got us was we were told we were going slow in a still traffic along by the bypass. They were drunk. Man, sorry about that experience, Mike. How does someone like arrest you for going slow? When has going slow ever been a crime? Either they were drunk. Some people got to chair due to peer pressure and also fearing fresh or young blood taking over their space. That's true, by the way. Like, you see, you're growing and you're not progressing. That's also something to think about. For example, and I'm not saying this is the case, guys. I hope it's okay for us to just talk about stuff. If, for example, Patrico was a presenter for like 20 years, and he has not gotten to a level like, okay, now I'm, let's say, production manager, or I have some managerial responsibilities. I've not given managerial responsibility. I'm presenting forever. That would explain him wanting to explore other things. Like, growth is something that should be thought about by business owners. Grace Kamate, Selecta Mese, Megadi, Emperor Orlando, Wycliffe Luyombia, Patrico Mujuka, Bonaba Abomba. Hey, guys, even Wycliffe Luyombia went. I did not know that. Yeah, Megadi was his career was kind of stagnant. And I find that when Megadi left, Nagin and Asomamu, I think he did a course in medicine. He's now a doctor, right? For him, he needed to go. Megadi one he wasn't progressing. Right? Like, you see, also things are not really moving. Is Irene Tali Kucheyo or just a music vacation? Irene Tali is home. See, you know, Gundi Guavada Gamba. Yeah, no. Lidi puzzles Guavadakwana. Our Dakwana, Nakwana Tali. Ntala Kampala. Echo Tuchideke, Abari ku zero. Now, if you can make profit of 1.5 million monthly, please stay home. Are you sure? Heath Moses, hi. Mountain of Strength VIP, good morning. Moses Heath, you can always venture into something else in Uganda. We are always pushing the reset button in most of the things we do. True. Wano wagana no dawali, walini wagana no dawali, walini wagana no dawali. Mudali David, hi. David Jack, Ugandans leave their professions here to enter medical field in developed countries. They work as nursing aides and other menial hospital jobs, but they pay well. Mbu. By the way, I don't understand also what Irene Tali is doing abroad these days. Irene Tali, see you not gundi kwa kwana lili puzzle. Ari Kampala. I recently saw a video of her in Kampala. Good morning, Omni Wandiambi. David Jack, you have scared me about Mudala scene, yet I like it. Banang, what can we eat without? No, but David Jack, if you don't have a problem with Mudala scene, you may, it's me who has a problem. I've never seen anyone else that is allergic to that thing. But me, every time I take it, I get a lot of hiccups. I can have hiccups for like a week. I tell you, the time when I discovering that I was allergic to Mudalasin, I had hiccups for like 2 weeks. Nenga bulina kunywa chai. Chayo ya uma. Ochitegera ninawe natoka nenga manyando ga. Then I realized, that's the time I realized that bana Uganda abasinga abafane bagamba nti babaloga siddugo. Buba bulwadde nga buli genuine. Omuntu ayinza ba allergic ku fene, nenga bulira ko ali afene. Ngatakiriza nti omuntu oyinza obeera allergic to fene. Nalya fene paka kufa. Okitegeera. I also found out I was allergic to mussels. Second time I ate them, my mouth swelled like mussels, JK. My mouth swelled like the first time I ate them. Mussels? What is mussels, JK? Good morning, football tribe. Jay Sekaja, someone is talking about you. You get hiccups. Jeka barimba. It's not about someone talking about you. Ila nange kuroboza atanse nasozi kuroboza someone is talking about me, then I remember the day gundi cookie. Nembuzo omuntu owaye lwaki nteze cookies zili mu cinnamon. Atenga akimanya abalaji tu cinnamon. Kati buche ngendo kulya ebiri baking nasoka ngakebera, does it have cinnamon? Bakube mti babwandi same. I think I know those twins. Probably hobbies of Smakon. Wamulabisa bamukubye slap. Do you know slapping Yunga oline chikazi? Nathan nyina guy na slapping atwali tukola na slapping na he quit. He quit. Slapping azo omuntu omukulu ngani ne chikazi. Slapping ngani ne chikazi. Kati bwe nkola ki bwa quitting ate kibye kirontu bwe ya quitting ate chikazi. Ate chikazi abagaya bandi batandika okugira. Ate baagirira ddala. Kati nengamba senga yasigala nagumira empi nasigaza ekikazi. Just a suggestion, as you review all these cars, I think it would serve us better if owners give us an insight on some of the routine maintenance costs. Like, I'll probably get it from them, but most owners don't want to be in those cars. Like today, we are going to work on 3 cars at once. We're going to do 3 reviews at once, but the owners sometimes don't want to be known that they done. Actually, there are some people that I said, you know what, I'm going to talk to you again. Akulaga face, every time I listen to gospel music, I think about heaven. Yes. Gospel music kind of makes you think like, oh, yes, about Patrico, I meant that when he went for Uganda, lost his talent. Oh, yet he could have mentored. Man, Patrico was a game in his field. Bab Megadi was my friend, but I used to laugh at the records he would make. Like when only security guards and service providers stand up for one of his shows. But he's a good man. Megadi adi in Uganda. Irene Tala ali mu America, but she's flying to Uganda soon to attend Ngudi Festival. She said on that. Ali mu America. Aleka agenda kuche yalimba. And Arthur, I realized that Ugandans fear to be on the same level with juniors who made it with the first kick. So elders decided to run away from competition. Mazos. JK Mazos chogene mu Uganda, gubyoyogera oluzungu olungi, kiyinza okwafa tukiyita kirala. Mazos byebiki. JK Mazos byebiki. But you artists overeat each other. David Jack, me I don't have not eaten artists. Don't pay this. Of course I know some artists that I know some. For example, naye ono Nambwayo ne Suna Beni bagambe munambo ayo yali beach y'abantu ku radio kubukedde noli nambo ayo nga buli muntu yali yagire nambo ayo naye mbusuna najja nakola enzobe mbo yawasa oyiga yambuzizza mbu how do you decide gogende ku beach buli muntu jafudde beach gwe mbu wase Jeke soko ngami mazozi byebichi. How do you eat snails, Jeke? Jeke, for you they sold because you're African. Africans don't eat snails. We don't eat snails. I love to listen to gospel music a lot. I was in the choir for 8 years. Ngankasuke dobozi. Naliko nange mu choir naenze gospel music. I love the music is good, but I don't want to be thinking about those things of the gospel music. Kind of makes you feel like working for earth is not me. I want to work for earth so that I'm remembered. I have kids. They should walk into JK's office and they say, I am a Chisenyi, and JK says, oh, you're Chisenyi's son. The contract is yours. That's what I'm working for. I want my grandchildren to walk into a certain office and they say, I am a Chisenyi, and they say, you're a grandchild of the Chisenyi that lived, and they say, yes, I'm a grandchild of the Chisenyi. That's why I'm working. That's why I'm working this hard. To make a mark that my grandchildren would appreciate. Nekatwalwa abantu nga bajjajja bafa kayinze jjajja wange azaala taata wange mukama amusaasira mummuze mirembe saamulabako nekati ki what what bane tukole nnyo tuleme kuba bajjajja nga Arthur bwe yebuza ku jjajja azaala taata mbu what now. Gospel songs really make people think that God is only for poor and the rich won't enter heaven, as if Job, Solomon, Abraham were poor people. Daniel, thank you. Mbu byatandika mu kwewa lift. Please drive your wives to work. Era abasajja bannange tukole nnyo. Ate era naye wogulira mukazi w'emmotoka tatwalako abasajja. Tatwalako abasajja avuge yekka agende paka ku mulimu amafuta ogagule ogateekemu kuba natandikira ovuga abasajja. And yesterday I was watching there's a clip I watched of some counselor omukazi ng'agamba abakazi mukasitowa omusajja chance n'ayogera naawe aba ku mazzi. And I was thinking to myself, abakazi bali bwe bati bangu nnyo bwe bati nti kasito tandikuwa kasita kuwa omukisa okwogera naye oba omumaze okulya. You need to find artists who make gospel music fun and exciting to listen to. Nze neze zaba Kirk Franklin ezo nazo era obo buhoho bwe bunyuma kasita tandikuwa okwogera ebigambo nga tujira bana guys kamba sibule obudde bwebo. We have gone into 14 hours into the hour. Mugalasi Joshua Mixed Farm Yombia Mark bana mwebale kungambako how you keep hope alive amidst all the people that are hopeless around you. We have so many hopeless people. Waboye Nelson Muyombia Mark, Antonio Random Things, Mugalasi Joshua Mixed Farm, Tusime Eddie Mutumba Pade, Hashim Nathan, Viola Namiro, Travel Live Vlog, Jay Sekajalu, Yinda Jimmy, Dex, Morad K Momo, Nsereko Starch, Kato Muhammad, Oza Mosantu, Antino Amas, Nsereko Starch, Chintu Mark, Nathan 256, Chairman Zach, Jay Sekaja, Paul Sema VIP, JK of course, David Jack Tumusime, Eddie Aniku, Chris Da Vinci, Godfrey Tambala, Daniel Odwori, Bridget Kakai, Habat, Ochaloy Daniel, Ntongo Helen, Badru Jingo, Joseph Balikudembe, Jovan Mugume, Edwin Mugerwa, Bruno Bakahika, Elvis Patel, Ronald M. Kasendo VIP, Musisi Gerald, yes, Andrew 256B, Promotions Logistics, Lucky Mose, Firstborn, Yes, Vigilax owa alamu jangu tutekemu alamu akasente ba abani banywa amata. Lucky Moze waiswa krani ma mutono, sorry. Yes, Mfansi Michael, Fanisi Michael. Heath Moses, Mountain of Strength VIP. Wali omuntu ayagala parking ewantu nolaba nga ayagala kwonoona bwonoonyi. Football Tribe, Edwin Mugerwa. But guys, thank you very much for being part of the broadcast. If one thinks gospel songs make people think God is only for the poor, yes, then the person needs more knowledge. The problem isn't gospel songs. The problem is what? Even when you go to choirs, especially in Uganda, most of the people that are in choirs are poor people. Even most people that sing gospel music are poor people. Pastor Bugembe. Era olwafunamu kasente gospel music n'amuvaamu. Okitegeera. Late Kama, Charles Sebaduka, hi, how are you? Onade agalo parking ewantu ayonone moroka zaffe. Kanfunze n'okufunza. Oli yasosia timings okuparking. Okay guys, I wish you a very lovely day. JK, gospel music wane Uganda. Yandibadde azzaamu ssuubi naye talina nnyo ssuubi lyazaamu. Nze simwinako buzibu naye nze simuwuliriza saagala byakundowoozesa nti eggulu nze nkolerera wano funaawe ensi gye nkolerera eggulu tujja dikolera mu budde bwalyo. I will convince God to take me to heaven if I have to go to heaven, but I think God needs me. I think we just have to have self-esteem, enough self-esteem for you to know that Katonda akwetaaga. Kati nze ngenda kusoma ebitabo mbere ne skill wano kati Katonda aba yeetaaga abantu abayingira mu marketing team tusobole okuwinninga over bano abantu stand babadde atutte tubaze without actually telling them that come to God. Nga strategies ezo ngenda kubanziina kati ate gwe omala okufuuka nga omanye okumarketinga performing arts nolema okumarketinga eggulu. Mukama abawo omukisa. See you tomorrow morning. Ciao.